Once again, Mike Bloomberg, who is running for president. Now, he's called by Donald Trump Mini Mike Bloomberg for his short stature. But we reported on him last time speaking about how he sent the NYPD to black communities because he said that black people commit 95% of the murders, and we know that's not even true. But that's how racists talk. Now it's come up again, some statements from 2008 that Mike Bloomberg was blaming black people for the housing crisis and supporting the process of redlining against black people. Now, why is it that this guy, just because he's spending money with everybody, because he got it to spend like that, don't allow this guy to buy you off? If you allow him to buy you, well, he can't buy me off because he ain't got enough to buy me off. But he's buying some people off because he's spending all his money and doing a lot of media, doing a lot of ads. He's literally buying his way in when he really didn't earn his way in. You understand? So back in September 2008 at Georgetown University, he pointed toward the ending of discriminatory practice against black Americans known as redlining. And he said it all started back when there was a lot of pressure on banks to make loans to everyone. He said that redlining, if you remember, was a term where banks took whole neighborhoods and said people in these neighborhoods are poor, they're not going to be able to pay off their mortgages. Tell your salesman don't go into those areas. That was used to segregate black Americans into separate neighborhoods and bar them from access to home loans. Then he went on to say, and then Congress got involved, looked at elected officials as well, and said, oh, that's not fair. These people should be able to get credit. And once you started pushing in that direction, banks started making more and more loans where the credit of the person buying the house wasn't as good as you like. Meaning they're not white. Let's call it what it is. Racist Bloomberg. So mind that Bloomberg is actually accurate that risky loans helped spark the crisis, but experts since the crash have said black communities were often targeted for predatory lending. Yes, risky loans will, cause a problem, but when you target it for predatory lending, that's been the issue of black Americans for a long time. So it says it's been well documented that the 2008 crash was caused by unethical predatory lending that deliberately targeted black communities, said Deborah Gore-Mann, the president and CEO of progressive nonprofit Redlining Institute. It said the black communities and low-income communities were the victims of the crash, not the cause. Now, I said a Bloomberg campaign spokesperson said that they told Business Insider in a statement that Bloomberg sought to combat the root cause of the financial crisis during his mayoral tenure. Now, he said as mayor, Mike attacked predatory lending. As a philanthropist, he helped other cities craft innovative strategies to reduce evictions because he knows how important it is to keep people in their homes. But that's not really what he was saying. He was blaming black people. So basically, black folks, once again, blame everything on you. The banks did it, but you're the cause. Okay, if you're the cause, why didn't Barack Hussein Obama bail you out? He bailed out the banks. He said they were too big to fail. You understand? Because I remember all of that. While these people, and listen, when I talked to African Superstar, because she had worked in Chase Bank, she said that they would deliberately give loans, home loans, to people who can't afford it. Then what they would do on top of them really can't afford it, their whole plan was to take the property from them. So when they get into the home, let's say the payment was $800 a month. Okay, hey, the family said, I can afford this as home. But they signed up for an adjustable rate mortgage instead of a fixed rate mortgage. Now, a fixed rate mortgage means if your percentage is 3%, it's staying at 3%. Unless you refinance it and maybe you can get it lower. Adjustable rate means it'll stay at 3%. And then after so long, it may jump up to 7%, 8%, which means it will balloon your payment. So if you're paying, let's say $800 a month on this mortgage, it could balloon up to maybe $1,400. Well, you can't afford that because that $1,400 now is cutting into other bills. Because some people know how to accurately put their bills where everything is paid off and you can't have no room for error. And that's what happened to a lot of black families. When you get a home, you have to submit all of your paperwork to them about your finances. You got to show them where you work. You got to show them if you're getting child support or not. You got to show them what all your bills are. You have to show them everything. And then they look at that to determine if you can afford to pay a loan. So after looking at all of that, they say, yeah, let's give them this loan because we balloon this payment up. They're going to lose it. See, that's the predatory lending that happened during the housing crisis. But they don't want to blame Chase Bank and Bank of America and Wells Fargo and all the different major banks. They don't want to blame them. Mini Mike Bloomberg wants to say it's them black folk. And that's been the MO of this country. Everything wrong with the country, black people did it. You never take responsibility for what you do. You never pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Never. That's why I say, man, I just wish black people sometimes I wish we do it. Say, man, forget y'all. We all going back to the continent. Have at it. Y'all fall overnight. Who you gonna blame them when black people gone? Who would you blame? But unfortunately, black folks have this idea like, Massa, I trust you for everything. And Massa, I love you. And I ain't going over there with them black folk. I love you too much, Massa. That attitude a lot of black Americans have, because you do. You do, because I hear it in your responses. 1 minute you're saying that we basically getting demolished in America, but when you say, okay, we're getting demolished in America, let's go try Africa. I ain't going over there. I ain't doing that. We built this place. But you're getting demolished here. Your kids getting put in psych wards when they acting like a child, like they're having a temper tantrum. They're doing the most to you. I ain't doing that. That attitude. A lot of black Americans. That's why sometimes I try not to even argue with them kind of people anymore, because I was like, look, man, that's them. But them same people that you talking to say, okay, let's go try what Africa got to offer. Let's see. Them same people want to hold on to you and don't want you to move around either. Why are you running? Why do you care? Why do you care? You here with Master, stay with him. Stop worrying about what the other brothers and sisters trying to get off the plantation trying to do. Stay there right here with him in the house. But this is, what happens to black Americans and what we have to deal with. The Democrat Party is openly hostile to us. Openly. And for the people who are slow to understand my words, because they will say, he must be a Republican. No, ain't nobody from RNC cut me a check. They didn't. Politically, if I'm aligned with anything, a black independent. It means I'm for the black community independent of your political parties. That's what black independent means to me. So you can miss me with that BS. I ain't part of nobody party. And I have a right to call out that Democrat Party. Why? Because my people have been voting for this party for 60 years? And what have we got out of it? Nothing at all. Then we start demanding, I would say, tangibles, reparations, etc. How dare you Negroes sit here and ask for something? But white people can ask, illegal immigrants could ask, Jewish people can ask, Asian people can ask, and you'll pander and make sure they get something. But when it comes to black Americans, you're hostile. You have the attitude, you should just be glad that we allow you to vote. That's the attitude that they have. So no, you're going to be called out. And you come on here, and I'm telling you from now on, say anything about I'm a Republican, I'm blocking your behind. Because I ain't got no affiliation with a Republican Party at all. All I care about is the black community's interest. And if a Republican going to give the interest of the black community, I vote for them. If a Democrat's going to give it, I vote for them. All I care about is the interest of the black community. I have no ties to nobody's party. I'm not a shield, unlike some black folks you see on television and some black folks, roly-poly, on the internet. That's always going to a luncheon every 5 minutes and like to be calling black women dumb A's. But then you want to criticize Snoop. But I'll get to roly-poly probably another time, because he was wrong for calling Vicky Dillard that. That sister don't deserve to be talked to like that, because she's challenging his Democrat shield behind. He went around here trying to belittle black people, because he in the boule. That's just what they do. And, you want to thank W.E.B. Du Bois for that talented 10th mentality. That's where that comes from. Any black person you see talking about Bloomberg, educate them. Say, hey, this guy blamed you for the housing crisis. This guy has targeted black communities in New York to put them in jail. Why are you supporting that? But you got some black folks supporting Jim Crow Joe, the one who wrote the crime bill. And Jim Crow Joe isn't doing good at all in the primaries. He isn't. So shout out to the brothers and sisters who are not really behind Jim Crow Joe. Now you got some older brothers and sisters, unfortunately, that's going behind Jim Crow Joe. But us that understand, those of us who are more educated in this political process, we're not going to deal with Jim Crow Joe. And Bloomberg is another one. We're not voting for you. You can go get all of the paid black folk you want. Go get them. But it ain't going to work because we don't support you like that. We're going to put your stuff out no different. Matter of fact, you no different than Trump would be. And matter of fact, in some instances, you're worse than Trump. In a lot of ways, you are. And it's coming out that you're just the same. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about Michael Bloomberg and him putting the blame on the victims of predatory lending and letting go free his people. That is amazing. But in America, it's always been the MO, when in doubt, blame black people for all my issues and problems. And the day gonna come, you're not gonna have black people around to blame. And I would love to God to allow me to see that day to happen.